So we were right here in Ecuador, if you can see the map. We got to go to Ecuador for about a week, and it was the most amazing experience I've ever had in my entire life. And one of the things that made it such a great experience were the families, the Ecuadorian families who worked at the camp. They basically ran it. Everybody from Esteban to our bus driver, Hilbert. It was just really good to see like how it started as Stephen Carroll's dream and ended up being theirs, and they're the ones who have this driving passion to spread the word, and it's just so amazing to see that. And I got to be very close to a lot of them because I spoke Spanish, and a lot of them spoke little to no English, and so whenever they like had something to say, they would call me up, and like by day 2 everybody was calling me Sarita, and it was great. And just to get to know them and to be encouraged by them, because we were out there and like I was part of the Bible story group, and when we went to go to the Bible story group, we would try to do our thing and do the best that we could to speak in Spanish and like tell the Bible story, and it was hilarious. And then Byron, who was one of the leaders, would go up to the front and talk to these kids and be so excited about it, and it was just such a good thing to see, and it just made me want to be even more excited the more that I talked to the kids. And so I loved the staff, and they were just an amazing group to work with, and I'm going back to see them. It's going to happen. So if you ever get the chance to go on a mission trip, regardless of where it is, here in Tuscaloosa or on the other side of the world, do it, because you will never regret it. Never.
One of my favorite parts on the Ecuador trip was getting to communicate with all the people in their own language, whether it be through song or through the conversations that I had. Dominic and I got to sing at several of the churches, and afterwards people just came up with a big smile on their face and were like, "Thank you so much for doing this." And then one of the days outside of school, I was talking to a little boy in Spanish about the Bible that he received, and he looked at it and he told me, "Oh, well, this is so long, I don't know how I'm going to read it." And I told him, "Well, you don't have to read it all today. You can read it over however long it takes you." And I showed him one of my favorite passages, which is Ephesians 2, and he read through it in Spanish and was saying how neat God was and Jesus was and how he had all these questions. And I told him to go to the church there and ask about it. But it was so neat to see how God tore down that language barrier and allowed us to communicate with these people in their own language.
The highlight of the trip was when we went to this church in the city, and they were singing songs, and they were singing songs in Spanish, and then he switches to English and starts singing "Open the Eyes of My Heart, Lord" in English. And it just reminded me of the fact that even though there's a language barrier between us, we are still one family under God, and nothing can change that. And it was in that moment that I felt God call me to go to the nations and spread His word. Because of the experience in Ecuador, I felt God speak to me this week, and I felt Him call me to go into the mission field and spread His love to the nations, so that people who don't know God can come to know God.
So one thing that really impacted me was whenever the children got to open up Operation Christmas Child boxes, because we do that every year, and we're on one side of it, but we never get to see the other side of it when children get to open the boxes, and we never get to see their reaction. So there's this one girl, her name was Melissa, that I kind of stayed around all week. She was just really shy. She didn't smile a lot. She didn't talk to a lot of people. But I just thought I should get close to her, just help her be around more kids, and I just wanted to make her happy. And so the day that she opened her box was so amazing, because she always, all week, she carried around this one little puppy stuffed animal, and it was dirty, it was beat up, and she didn't ever let it leave for her sight. And then the first thing that she saw when she opened the box was a brand new puppy stuffed animal, and she finally smiled, like the biggest smile I've seen her smile, and I just truly felt God's presence in every single one of those boxes and everything in that room, and it was just amazing to see the impact that had on her, and it really just made her happy, because I know that not all of them get the chances we get to have things like that, and so it's just really amazing to see that.